100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and 100 squats. Then a 10-kilometer run. Do it every single day. In the beginning, you'll wish you were dead.
One Punch Man is the most overpowered character in anime history. He can defeat his enemies in one single punch, but also he looks amazing bald. However, this video is not about being bald, but how to become the most overpowered human on this planet. To see if this workout actually worked, I needed a way to track my progress. So I felt the need to measure something. Now, there's a big chance I would end up in a hospital if I went around punching people. So instead, I settled for some very awkward pictures of me in my underwear and some numbers from a semi-trustable source indicating I was close to overweight. At least according to Medical News Today and Forbes.com. I also tested my bench press to see how the push-ups would affect my strength. Slowly increasing my weight to a whopping 100 kilograms, I managed to squeeze out 2 reps. That's like repping my dogs times 20 2 times. I also had a 10K at the end of the workout to see how my endurance would improve. My day started with the push-ups. Should have been a walk in the park after years of doing push-ups before approaching a swimming pool and before going on a date.
I just put in that light there.
It was actually harder than expected. You can get away with pretty much anything when doing push-ups in your bedroom by yourself. And even worse were the sit-ups. People always tell me you get enough ab work through the bigger exercises. But after doing the 100 sit-ups, I can with 100% in confidence say,
wrong. That is absolutely wrong. Proved over and over again.
Wrong. Midways into the squats, the leg workout seemed underwhelming to say the least. But I guess there's a reason they call him One Punch Man and not One Kick Man. Then came the 10K. Correction, the leg workout seemed overwhelming to say the least. You see, the only time I run is when I'm chasing my dog, or when the dog chases me. So I had to walk a big chunk of it. I finished after 77 minutes, 48 seconds. To clarify, that's not good. Let me put this into perspective. RunningLevel.com has this chart with 5 categories: Elite, Advanced, Intermediate, Novice, and Beginner. And apparently after this video, there's now a Carl category. The next day, my legs was, how do I put this gently? Serves me right for calling the leg workout underwhelming, I guess. Most of you have probably experienced soreness after a workout. This is called delayed onset muscle soreness, which is basically muscle damage and inflammation caused by overloading the muscles. I dragged myself into the car hoping that with a little bit of warm-up, I would be able to complete the workout. I eventually got warm enough to push through. By the time I was done, my calves were aching and my body was destroyed once again. The next day, I felt amazing. Fucked up. I started to question my life choices that had brought me to this moment of torture. I found out that no choices I'd made had put me in this situation other than me being an idiot. I usually eat around 2200 calories to maintain a somewhat dateable physique. And now I was burning 3500 calories, putting me in a 1300 calorie deficit. Now, that's a lot of numbers. The short story, I ate too little for my body to recover, so I ate a little more. Next morning, to my surprise, the soreness was almost gone. Was it because of the extra calories, or was my body just transitioning into a superhuman? Either way, with renewed energy, I managed to run the whole 10K without stop. And I was now, finally, inside the chart. Day 5, like day 4, brought no muscle soreness, meaning my body was definitely getting used to the amount of workload. I did, however, experience some aching in my knee, probably because my kneecaps were shattered from all the running. But there's nothing a little duct tape can't fix. Comparing my shape from day 1 to day 5, I seemed a little tighter around the love handles, meaning there was even less of me to love and to handle. Weight-wise, I had actually put on a little weight, which seems like the opposite of what you want from a routine like this. Although, according to this semi-trustable source, I had dropped 1.5% in body fat. The next couple of days, the workout had become a grind, and I even ran a personal best 58:38, putting me in between the beginner and novice category. Which might not seem crazy, but let me put this into perspective. Since I was now in between novice and beginner, it meant I was running as fast as runners that had run regularly for months. After my 10K at day 1, my only goal was to be able to run a full 10K without stop. It then became my mission to run it faster than the beginner category. So my head is shaved for minimal resistance. Also, after completed 10 days of the One Punch Man routine, a bald head was inevitable. Stepping onto the weight for the last time, I was hoping to see some changes. Because to be honest, I haven't tortured myself like this since I watched the last Thor movie. I weighed in at 71.4 kilograms and was down to 17.6 fat. That put a big fat smile on my face. Comparing the image from day 1 to day 10, I can say a lot has definitely not happened. 10 days isn't a lot, and there's only so much change you can do to your body in that short amount of time. But the numbers themselves tells me that something did in fact happen. But how did the training affect my physical performance? At day 1, I managed to bench press 2 reps on 100 kilograms. I now ended up with 3 reps, which was 1 more rep than day 1. So the 100 push-ups every day had done something. Moving on. At the beginning of this experiment, I wouldn't even count my 10K as a 10K due to the amount of walking I did. Now I was suddenly standing on the start line, ready to run my socks off. My goal was obviously to beat my last PB at 58:38. As a very unexperienced runner on the track, I ran my first K at around 4 minutes. Which was stupid. My legs starting to stiffen up and already my heart was ready to leave my body. In a desperate attempt to survive, I decided to use my brain for once to calculate the pace I needed to beat my last record. I decided to run at a pace around 5:30 per K. Approaching the end, I still felt very comfortable. So I amped up the pace in hopes that I would impress all the people that weren't there. I ended up completing the 10K at 52:42, putting me way within the novice category. And I was ecstatic. So I did not become Saitama, but I did actually get in better shape. Now, do I recommend this routine? Probably not. 10K every single day will destroy your knees, and with no back exercise, you're basically just asking for bad posture. But it did work. I lost fat, gained endurance, and improved strength. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, like the video and subscribe. Oh, and also hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next challenge of me becoming a bodybuilder in 10 months. Love ya.